That's all they can do. You didn't hear this stuff. You know, you read about espionage and insurrection. These people are sick. They're sick. And yet, they reported me to the Department of Justice for criminal prosecution. Now, you hear what the law is. That's the law. By the way, there were many other cases that backed that up, too. I didn't even know that until 2 days ago. Many other cases backed that up. Nothing like this has ever happened to our country before. That is why no other president, even those who kept far more documents than I, like Biden, who wasn't president, and that's very dangerous, by the way, because he doesn't come under the Presidential Records Act. When he took all this stuff, he wasn't president. But it's never even been investigated. Nobody else was ever even investigated over this, let alone charged with a very severe crime. The good news is the people understand it, they get it, and that's why we're leading by more points than we were doing very well, but it went up. Who else gets indicted and their poll numbers go up? The reason is because people understand it's a political way of interfering with the election. I always had tremendous respect for the office of the president. I had tremendous respect, beyond respect. So I never hit Biden as hard as I could have, or as hard as I should have, to be honest with you. I never did. I just had too much respect for the office. Even the office of vice president, he was vice president. But now with my indictment, I mean, they arrest you. Think of it. They arrest your opponent in an election, an opponent that's winning by a tremendous amount over this person, and they arrest you. And that's worse than ballot stuffing, I think. But it should have the same kind of an impact. But they didn't know. When they raided Mar-a-Lago, which is unprecedented, they took away, you take a look at the Fourth Amendment, I mean, they took away my constitutional rights. They raided my home. Think of it, FBI agents pouring into a house, carrying guns of a former president of the United States. It's such a serious thing, such a horrible thing. But with my indictment over nonsense and over exactly what I just read to you, where you make the decision for purposes of election interference, I said, you know, now the gloves can come off, because I never thought anybody would do a thing like that. Neither did anybody else. So we'd be rough, politically rough, but we would never like this, because I would never have said this, even though it's true. But I don't think I could have said it before. But now it's very easy to say Biden is the most corrupt president in the history of our country by far. Every time the radical left Democrats, Marxists, communists, and fascists indict me, I consider it to be a great badge of honor and courage. I'm doing it for you. I'm being indicted for you. Better me than you, right? Just sitting there saying, hey, I'd rather have it. We love our president. Let them indict him. We don't want to be indicted. And I believe the you is more than 200 million people that love our country, far more than 200 million. Meanwhile, as we've been persecuted for 7 years, because this didn't just start with the boxes. I call it the boxes hoax. It's a hoax. But this didn't start with boxes. This started 7 years ago when we came down the escalator. Your great First Lady, future First Lady, at the time. And despite having done nothing wrong, the White House just announced they've dropped the investigation into the West Wing cocaine scandal of just a few days. Think of it. They have cocaine going into the White House. They've got more cameras than any building probably in the world. It's opposite the Situation Room. I said it the other day, first time, you know, Situation Room, know it very well. Probably the most important room anywhere in the world. That's where war is decided, where nuclear is decided, where everything is decided. They say, oh, gee, we didn't have any cameras. Like hell they didn't. By the way, at Mar-a-Lago, which is not the Situation Room, we had tapes, and we handed over all our tapes, gladly handed them over. Take a look. And then they say, oh, there's somebody walking around with a box. Well, he's allowed to do that. But think of this. We had tapes, and we handed them over. Well, they said they don't have tapes. They don't happen to have it. This investigation, and that's a big deal, the cocaine. The cocaine by itself is a big deal, but it could have been other things. It could have been a dangerous weapon, so to speak, a bioweapon. But They ended it in just literally a few days. Now, I've been under investigation from really 2015, from the day I announced. From the day I came down the escalator, and actually when you think about it, from before that, because there was a poll that was taken where I was leading before. They said if he ever runs, he's going to win. And, you know, people did tend to know me. That's when I had a nice, easy life. What I do for you, you have no idea. I had such an easy life. I had such a good life. I had a great life. But I'm very glad I did it.